Ladies, so welcome to the weekly live series where I spill all the tea and everything that I've learned in my 11-year marriage that no one is really gonna tell you. Okay, so hi Connie, hi ladies. And I've titled this live, What did your dad teach you about love? What did your father teach you about love? Last week, I did a live on mommy issues and I was bombarded with so many DMs, wives telling me that, oh my goodness, Linda, I've been feeling this way for a really long time and I had no idea how much pain I was carrying, how much I was unconsciously repeating my patterns. And it is so interesting because as I was having a conversation with one of my private clients. Somebody's already gone off script. Do not settle for low effort from a man. That's absolutely not what we are talking about today. Okay? And here's the thing. Here's something I've learned along my journey. Some women, it is so easy for them to be mentored. It's so easy for them to be coached. It's so easy for them to win. And there are some who just cannot. And one of the signs is you cannot even pay attention to a simple life. So, Queen, if whatever is going on in your life, I have no idea. I don't know what low effort man, whatever is going on, I feel for you. But the conversation today is around dads. So as I was having this conversation earlier on this week, and what came up was fathers and daughters have this connection. Fathers and daughters have this connection. And fathers are the ones who are usually the ones who teach a babe how to be treated. And for some of my private clients, they are very successful women. They are very powerful women. They do big things in the offices. They're in boards. They are movers and shakers of their industry. But the one thing that I see them having a really difficult relationship with is with their father. And at the root of this thing is most of them don't even really have this connection with their dads. So yes, they grew up in homes where there was a father and a mother, but the mother did so much more in the relationship and the father was there. So a lot of them, by the time they are coming to me, yes, they are married, they've been married for 5 years, for 6 years, and they figured out that, oh my goodness, I don't even know, my perspective around men comes from how I viewed my dad. And these are women who are mature women. And when we start doing this work, what starts to come up is they grew up seeing their father behaving in a certain way. Because what tends to happen is if the woman is the one doing so much more in the relationship, the man has all the energy to do whatever. So for some of my clients, they start to see their father as this man who is lazy, this man who just comes at home. Maybe he pays the bills and that's all he does. Or maybe he's just so promiscuous. So even if they are married, deep down they just think that all men are character developers. All men are like that because they grew up seeing their father show their mom all kinds of manner of treatment. And let me know if this is something that you've never really thought about. And I'd really strongly encourage you to take a pen and paper. Take down some notes, because it is one thing to come and just sit and listen to whatever it is that it's saying. But a woman who is a pampered wife, she's very intentional. So take notes. Take some notes, and I want you to reflect on this. If you never grew up with your father ever telling you you're pretty, if you never grew up with a father hugging you, most likely, or if you grew up having a cold, distant dad, most likely you will end up picking men who are just exact same way like dad. So as we are going through this conversation, let me know if this is landing for anyone. Somebody needed to hear this today. The way your hubby is treating you right now, is it in any way similar to what you saw your dad doing when you were growing up? Our fathers are the ones who teach us what a man is supposed to be like. So if maybe you never had a good relationship with him, my question then to you is, how would you know? How would you know what a man is meant to do or not meant to do? And I'm having this conversation to just open your mind, to give you a very different perspective in terms of how you're approaching marriage. The other day, somebody said, Linda, marriage is between two people. And I said, absolutely not. It's not two people. You come with your own fair share of drama. You come with your own fair share of things. From the day you were born, your mom told you stuff. In fact, if she was working so hard, if she was under stress, she passed on a lot of pain and stress onto you. There's the whole ancestral lineage which she carries. There's also your dad, his thoughts, his beliefs. All this stuff is passed down into you from the womb. Then from the time your mom holds you in your hands, you grow up, you go to school, you're hearing, oh my goodness, your teacher is telling you, be this way, be that way. At home, maybe you have siblings, maybe your sister is preferred to you, maybe she's prettier or maybe smarter. All these things are affecting how you are showing up. There's a way maybe your aunties or the media tells you you're supposed to be, such that by the time you say, I do, and you stay in this marriage for 6 years, it's not just you. It is you plus 1,000 other different voices that are shaping into this person called you. And that's why the biggest work I do with my clients is we are removing all these layers, because many times, even if a babe comes and tells me, Linda, I want to be pampered, some of them, truthfully, if we sit down and have the conversation, they have no idea what it means to be pampered. And it's not anybody's fault, because if you grew up nobody ever treating you easily, if you grew up always having to feel like you need to prove yourself, you need to prove your worth, at what point were you ever really pampered? At what point were you ever really pampered? So let me know, what kind of a relationship do you have with your dad? And I want you to take a pen and paper and ask yourself, what did your dad teach you about love? And a lot of the teachings that we get are not like verbal. It will be just from maybe how he treats other women around you. The other day, my dad was asking me, Linda, he calls me Titi. He's like, Titi, did I spoil you? He actually asked me that question. This was like 2 months ago. And of course, I laughed. Yeah? But the truth is, yes, I got away with so many things. I got away with so many things. Why? I was an only girl. When it came to him and me, we had a very different kind of relationship. And you see, for me, it showed me that, okay, it's okay. A man is supposed to look after you. He's supposed to take care of you. That's what he showed me. But then at some point, it became very confusing, because you start to hear stories that a good wife is meant to work hard. She's meant to give 50-50. She's meant to do all this and all that. So the messaging becomes very confusing in a woman's head. Until one day I woke up and I'm like, no, I was always treated this way at home. So this is the kind of treatment I want, and this is how I want to move on. Whether or not somebody calls me lazy or not, no, I decided to listen to me. So I want to ask you, what is it that you heard from your father? What did you learn from your father? Because in fact, there was a private client I was speaking with, and she was telling me, Linda, all my life, my dad always cheated on my mom. And to her, that is her reality. She is married 7 years. She's a very successful woman. She has a 6-year-old son. But underneath this all, she still believes all men are character developers. Why? Because that is what she saw growing up. So even in her marriage, yes, she is married. She had a glamorous wedding. But it still is like she's walking on eggshells because she doesn't know when her husband is going to turn promiscuous like her dad. This is landing for someone. This is landing for someone. So here's the thing. You get to choose the kind of love story you want. December 2024 is going to be here, whether you like it or not. And you could be enjoying the safest relationship you've ever had. I've been posting all the testimonial. I get DMs, I get emails from so many women who are telling me, Linda, right now I'm in Coast, I'm enjoying a full paid holiday, and a year before, in 2023, I thought I was about to get divorced. What changed? You too can be able to get the love that you want from your man. But it requires for you to decide. It requires for you to decide. It requires for you to say, you know what? No. Maybe what I'm doing, maybe all these so many talks I'm having in the home is not paying off. Maybe I need to look at me differently. And here's the biggest thing. Relationship skills, especially if you're a successful career woman. And trust you me, I was that kind of a babe. I never took time to study romance. I never took time to study relationships. I was like, okay. And this is what so many of my private clients are telling me. They're like, Linda, what is so difficult about understanding a man? I have bigger things to do. I need to think about my investments. I need to think about my corporate career. I have bigger fish to fry. I need to think about PhD. Until they get to a point where they're like, oh my goodness, my marriage is about to break. And the amazing thing about these women is they are used to problem solving naturally. So that's how they end up coming to someone like me. And then we start working together. And I too, it was because of my problem-solving skills. I was a very highly masculine woman because that's how I got my MBA. That's how I got my career. But I realized that energy absolutely does not work in marriage. Not only does it tire me as a woman, but it just doesn't work. So if you're really, truly feeling like, you know what, I'm about to give up on my relationship, I want you to go back and start to ask yourself, and even take a step further and ask yourself, okay, what did I grow up hearing my dad saying about men? What did I grow up seeing him do to my mom? And am I repeating anything in the home? And the amazing thing is we get to choose. We have the power of choice. We have the power of choice. Now, there's so much conversation going on about women and predators and all this and all that. The one thing I know throughout, and this is stuff I've learned in my femininity journey, this is like 5 years or so. The way the world is stacked up for women, you need wisdom. That's how the world is. You need wisdom. You need wisdom. And wisdom can come from your own experience. Maybe you'll be divorced one time, then you're like, oh my goodness, no, I'm not going to repeat anything that happened in my previous relationship. You upgrade and move on. Or your relationship can be breaking and then you're still pointing fingers at your man. If you're here, you're not that kind of a babe, because I know the kind of women who work with me. They are the ones who want bigger things for themselves. These are the kind of women who want to bring forth generational free of trauma. You want to create legacies for your children, not just wealthy legacies, but also happy and healthy. One of the things one of my private clients came and told me, she's like, Linda, I've been married. I am raising a daughter. And right now, my hubby and I, we are cheating on each other. We are about to break up. And my biggest fear right now is I have no idea what lesson I'm going to teach my daughter. She came and said, Linda, I have no idea. And if you have kids, let me know if this is landing for you. She told me, Linda, I have no idea. I'm raising a daughter. She's now 3 years old. My marriage is in shambles. I do not know what I'm supposed to teach my daughter. What lesson am I passing on to my daughter? And at that time, she was telling me she saw her mom and dad have such an unhappy relationship, and she felt like she was repeating the same pattern. And that's usually the first way to get out of that mess, is to realize that things are not working. That's usually the first step. And she told me, Linda, the main reason I'm coming here, yes, I want to stay happily married, but also I have a daughter and I want her to teach her something different. And she was like, I have no idea what I'm going to tell her about love. I have no idea what I'm going to tell her about marriage, because mine is not working. And those were her words. When they say a woman makes a home, it's not about you and the bills you're paying in the house. It's not about how clean that home is. You're not a worker. You're not a banker. That is not the source of your energy. Your essence is about you, who you are and how you think. Who you are and how you think. And this is changing somebody's life right now. And nobody will teach you this. And that's why there's so much pain and so much confusion all over, because women are thinking that the way to a man's heart, because you want someone to build, you want a man to build and protect and provide. So you think that the same qualities you want in a man, those are the same qualities men want. No. A man will take advantage of that. He'll be married to you for even 20 years, taking advantage of you because you are not aware. And it was actually for that reason I started posting content around this, because I realized there's nobody talking about relationships this way. Everybody is saying, go and pray for your man. Go and pray for your husband. We already pray for these men. But even during your bridal shower, you'll be taught how to do 1,001 styles to please your man. All these things is around performing, but nobody teaches you how to get back to your true, authentic self. Nobody teaches you how to truly love yourself. Nobody teaches you how to, even this body that we are preparing ourselves for our husbands, nobody teaches you how to look after your own body for you. So we've been programmed from such an early time to always just be performing. And many of you are realizing, yes, I'm a good wife. I'm loyal, I'm faithful, I'm hardworking, I'm paying bills in this house, but my man is still cheating. Why? Because you have given away all your power. You've forgotten who you truly are. And this is changing somebody's life right now. Let me see if there are any questions that are coming up. Let's see if there's any question that's coming up. So I'd love for you to reflect. If you have a pen and paper, just take down some notes. Because the thing is, I change women's lives. I change women's lives. When you come onto this Instagram live, you will change your life. So take a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to sit back and write the answer to this very simple question. What did your dad teach you about love? And if you had no father, that's still okay. You can maybe turn it around to what did your mom teach you about love? And I want you to ask yourself, whatever they taught you, is it working for you right now? Because many of the women I work with, they are good women. So they like to follow all the rules. They follow all the rules. They are cooking, they are cleaning, they are opening doors at 3 in the morning. They are advising their men. They are their men coaches and mentors. They are everything for their men. But my question is, how is that working for you right now? And usually the thing is, many times we like to blame the man. But guess what? He's not the one who told you to do all these things. He is not. And that's why I say the big problem is the conditioning. It's the conditioning. What you are meant to believe works in relationships. And not only is that the problem, and once you start to realize, okay, maybe it really is much more than my hobby, because men respond, by the way. If you today wake up and decide, oh my goodness, no, I'm going to start looking after my body, I'm going to start looking beautiful, I'm going to start taking care of myself, I'm going to start, it's like you're cleaning up house internally. Your man is going to respond. He will. And if he does not, you will know that this man is not for me. And many times as women, we know. We always know that, oh my God, I let myself go. I let myself go. We always know as women. And that's why I always say we have the power of choice. You get to choose at the end of the day. We get to choose. Because when you stand in front of the mirror, it's just you versus you. One other babe, and I hope you don't mind me telling you stories. One other babe, she came to me and she was like, Linda, I was separated. And how she immediately started dating, then guess what? Of course, she left her man and she got into this new relationship. It didn't even take 6 months. I think it was like maybe 12 months. A year later, she's experiencing the same kind of relationship crap that she was experiencing in her marriage. She was experiencing the same kind of relationship crap with this new man that she was experiencing in her marriage. So how do you deal with a partner with an alcohol problem? It always comes back to you. What do you want to do with a partner with an alcohol problem? Clearly, you realize he has a problem. So then now it comes back to you. What do you want to do with someone who has a substance abuse issue? And my question to you is, 12 months from now, where do you see yourself with this man with an alcohol problem? Where do you see yourself? Because one of the biggest problems of playing victim is outsourcing big decisions to other people. And I always say at the end of the day, you're the one who goes back home. At the end of the day, you're the one who goes back home and spends the night with this man day in, day out, 365 days of the year. So my question to you is, with the understanding that you have a man with an alcohol problem, what then do you want to do about that? And here's the one thing I don't do. Anyone who has substance abuse, any addiction kind of issues, if your man is beating you, if, I don't know, he's addicted, maybe there's alcohol addiction, sex addiction, whatever kind of addiction, I am not the right coach for you. Because addiction has its own kind of thing. But to me, I always tell myself, I love myself too much to bond myself with someone who is not meeting me where I'm at. I'm not. That's just how I am. Okay. So for me, I always ask myself, where am I going to be 12 months from now? Where am I going to be? And these are questions that nobody's going to help you. You probably sit in meetings with in-laws and pastors and all this bullshit and all that, but okay, eventually, at the end of the day, it is you and this man. So my question to you is, where do you see, what goals do you have for your life? And how does this relationship you're in right now, how does that fit with where you want to go? Okay. Let me see if there's any other question. Let's see if there's any other question that's coming up. Because one of the biggest thing I see, and I really feel like, okay, it just puts women in a victim mentality, is when you want to start diagnosing somebody with issues. You want to sit and diagnose and say, oh, he has this problem, oh, he has that problem, oh, he's addicted this way. Okay, fine, that is him. What about you? Because yes, you understand this person is addicted, then you, and it happens a lot. I've seen women lose their husbands because they've been busy trying to fix a man for years and cover up addiction and all this kind of mess, only for these people to, everything to just go down the drain. And that's why I've said, as women, nobody will ever tell you this. At the end of the day, it is you and your kids and your mentality. That's what is going to help you. And that's why for a long time, I always tell anybody, look at where you are going. 2024, December, you'll be somewhere. Where are you right now? Because many times, your partner is just mirroring you. If you don't love yourself, he is mirroring the exact same thing. You're not taking care of yourself, he's just going to do the same thing to you. Once you start to realize, I deserve better, you start to take care of yourself, things start to change. You start to be more secure in yourself, take care of your hair, take care of your looks, get hobbies, love yourself, look after you. You start to notice there's going to be a shift. Because usually what happens, you will partner up with someone who is at your level. Mentally. That's what happens. Because another woman is like, oh, I'm sorry, I love you. But for me, addiction is a no-no. I'm not going to try to resolve issues. Yes, I love you. But maybe sometimes love has to be tough. I step away. You fix yourself. You are looking after yourself too. Instead of everybody drowning in this whole mess trying to fix a man. And that's the other thing. So many women like fixing. Fixing. What are you fixing? Why do we have so much energy to fix? It's not your child. And what usually happens when you allow a man to show you his worst behavior and you show him it is okay, literally he's wiping his feet all over you. That's the standard you've set for him, because it means that's how you view yourself. And you see, most of the times you probably think you're being a good wife. You're being caring, you're being nurturing. I can promise you, the day you start to draw the line, you start to say, I want more, that's when you'll know the truth. That's when you will know the truth. Because so many people, there are so many wives who get left, yeah? These wives who fix men. You accept a man at his lowest. You think you're being good. He's there all over. It's like another child. And we are taught this thing even during marriage counseling, not counseling, even just with your aunties and whatever. There's this thing that's being said that your husband is your firstborn. That's bullshit. He's not my child. So that's what gives so many women this mentality of trying to rescue a man. You cannot fix a man. If it is my son, 6-year-old, 9-year-old, that is my responsibility. I am the mother. But why are we having a conversation about someone with issues? If you were the problem, do you think he'd be there trying to rack his brain how to be your dad? No. And that's because of this nurturing energy. Actually, it's mother energy. And usually when you are in your mother energy, there's usually no attraction. Why? Because you don't respect him and he does not feel like a man. He feels like a failure. So even if you help him through his money problems, if you help him do all those CVs, I don't know, you send him all those YouTube videos and ideas on how to build a business, he's gonna take it. But at some point, once he's set himself up, he's gonna wipe his feet and move on. Why? Because he does not feel like a man in your eyes. Okay. So this is landing for somebody. This is landing for someone. Let me see if there's any other question. So as you're reflecting around your dad, so the first thing I've said, take a pen and paper and just reflect on what is it that you learned about your dad. That's point number 1. Number 2, what if he sent you out and how do you make him take you back? You cannot make a man take you back. Okay. You can not make a man take you back. He sent you out, which means he's rejecting you. Okay? And here's the thing, which means he's rejecting you. You cannot make him take you back. This is where your dignity comes in. This is where your dignity comes in. And usually the biggest mistake that happens is, and here's the thing, why would you want him to take you back? Someone who has chased you, someone who doesn't want you, why do you want him? Somebody who does not want you, why do you want someone who has clearly told you, I don't want you? To me, Mary, that will be the question. Because it's very different if a man wants out, and clearly he has sent you out. It's very different from if a babe decides, I need space, I need to move out. That's very different. Because the man is still interested. So my question to you is, if he has sent you out, what is this that you still want back? And that really is the question. Why do you want someone who is clearly showing you he does not want you? Because whatever it is has happened between you two, I have no idea. But that to me would be the question to ask you. And you see, here's the thing. I get asked so many times, Linda, teach dating, teach dating, teach dating. But my biggest growth didn't come from dating. To me, dating was like, you close your eyes, you go date. To me, dating was nothing. But the real work was in my marriage. That's where everything came out for me. That was my biggest area of learning. And some of the principles, sometimes we say, single babes, this, that, or they are chasing, don't chase. But there's so much chasing energy in marriage that nobody talks about. This life is changing somebody's life today. This conversation is changing somebody's life today. So Mary, for today, I'd love for you to really think about this. Why do you want somebody who is rejecting you? Okay. You're speaking to my heart. Thank you. Let me see if there's any question. Never had a chance to talk to my father about relationships and marriage. And it's so true because not many of us did, by the way. It's very normal. Our fathers are our dads. These men were G's. These men were gangsters. Like, they used to go to work. They were the real providers. They would go to work, hustle, grind, come back. He's seated on the couch with his newspaper. I mean, we all grew up with such dads. So even for me, I ended up now having a relationship much later on with him because now I was growing up. And of course, now it happens. You reach an age where you have to get married. So somehow you just start talking. So many women never really had a chance to talk to their fathers about relationships and marriage. And I can remember, in fact, when my dad eventually learned that I got separated, and of course we had a talk, we met at home, we were just talking. The first thing he asked me is he interested in the marriage? A relationship takes two people. You cannot be the only one interested in a marriage. It needs to be two people. And many times, and this is such a cliche thing, but a man needs to love you more than you love him. A man needs to love you more than you love him. And yes, feelings change. Nobody owes us anything. Today I'm grateful I have my hubby. Nobody owes us anything. That's why for me, I always make sure I am doing my side. Like I'm taking care of myself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I'm looking after myself. Every day, I'm looking after myself because nobody owes me anything. So back to you. Yes, many women never had a chance to talk to their fathers about relationships and marriage. Because also, yes, maybe not many people had that kind of a relationship, close relationship with their dads. But I think for me, what's really helped me is, first of all, and this is a big one. This is a really big one. You know, many times we are close with our moms. If you've had a good relationship with your mom, as kids, we're usually close with our moms. Anyway, they are the chatty ones. They are the ones who are there every day. But if your mom and dad had an unhappy relationship, you will find your mother is influencing you so much. And she's the one who's shaping you how to see your father. So every day you'll hear your father did this, he didn't pay this, he went and drank this, he did that, he did this. So you find you never really, it's like you already have a perspective about your dad. From who? From your mother. So that really blocks so many women from having a real relationship with their dad. They don't even know their dad outside what they hear about their mom. And of course, these men, they'll feel it. If your mom is always telling you how your dad is mistreating her, of course, you're not going to have a good vibe towards your dad. You won't be open. So it will just be like you're just there. Yes, your family, but it's just there. So one thing I'd encourage you is, and this might take time. This might take time. And the one tip I might give you is, start to ask yourself, do you really know your dad? I don't know. Do you really know your dad? Outside everything your mom is telling you about him, do you really know who this man is? And I think maybe that's why so many men find it easy to just wake up and go. Because they don't have a connection with their children. Why? Because our mothers decided to take us and tell us all these things, God bless them, stuff that they needed to go to process in therapy, they are processing it with their children. So you find kids have this perspective about their fathers. So their fathers are just there alone, without realizing that it takes two. So I think to me it's pretty normal. What if the man doesn't tell you why he wants to end the relationship? Okay, so I'd love to know. And here's the thing. It must be very, very confusing. And there's this sense of betrayal you must be feeling if a man wants to end the relationship. I don't know what kind of... I'm really assuming this is a marriage, not a boyfriend-girlfriend thing. But to me, same thing. Like I mentioned, nobody owes us anything. Okay? And the illusion we have is that love is this thing that's meant to... Like, if your man loves you today, he has to love you for the rest of your life. He really, truly doesn't. So if you really think that you have that awareness of it's a gift to enjoy the love I'm getting from my husband, you start to look at him a little bit differently because you're not taking things for granted. So that said, if he doesn't tell you why he wants to end the relationship, he doesn't want to say it. He doesn't. He doesn't. And nobody's going to tell you this. You can't talk your way into someone's heart. And this is painful, but you cannot talk your way into a man's heart. You know, women's hearts, we forgive and come back, forgive, come back, forgive and come back. But if you're like me, I do things once. I don't do this whole yo-yo dance kind of a thing. But for me, I say what my perspective is if he wants to end the relationship, you have to accept. And I don't know what led him. But my question to you is, okay, so where do you go from here? Now that he wants to end the relationship, now where do you go from here? So that's my question to you, Gloria. He wants to end it without an explanation. My question to you is, where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? My man doesn't trust me because he thinks I'm friendly. I have a cat male friends, but he still does not trust me. What do you think of this? What kind of a man? Is this a marriage? Is it a relationship? What is it? And is there a particular reason you're over-friendly with other men? Question. So if, however, I cut my friends out, but he still does not trust me. So I do not know what this means. So to me, my question is, in the relationship, what are your deal breakers between the two of you? Is it clear what your non-negotiables are? What are the deal breakers in your relationship? Because sometimes, I know relationships, marriages evolve. We change. You're not the same person you were yesterday. Today, I'm a different person. So my question is, what is my deal breaker right now? And does he know what those deal breakers are? And has he also shared? And are you comfortable? Okay. So to me, it goes back to what are your deal breakers in the relationship? And I do not know whether this is a marriage or whatever kind of relation. I'm not so sure because I don't know what you mean over friendly with men. But to me, it comes back to what are your deal breakers and what are your non-negotiables? And is it clear between the two of you? Okay. Yeah, exactly. So boyfriend, girlfriend, I mean, babe. Really? I hope you're dating like 30 other men. Yeah? So for me, I say, be clear with these relationships you're entering. So many women are entering relationships. What is the end game? What are you, like, what is it? Is it for marriage? Is it for fun? What is it for? Whatever the relationship is, do you have, like I mentioned, what are your deal breakers? And is it clear between the two of you? Okay. Because I think the biggest waste of time is having complicated issues in boyfriend-girlfriend relationships, and you're not yet even married. What that does, I've seen, is it just gives you a lot of emotional baggage to deal with, and then it blocks you from meeting the man that is meant to be for you. So I think, to me, Lotus, my question to you is, what is your goal? What is your goal with this relationship? I think even before we reach your deal breakers, reflect on why exactly you're in this relationship. What is it there for? Be clear. Okay. So, ladies, it's been fun hanging out. And if you want to, because I share a lot of information, and if you want structure, if you feel you're about to lose your marriage, and you really are like, oh my God, no, for me, the status of wife is one that I hold dearly. If you feel you are about to lose your marriage and you want to get this man, you want to get the love you deserve, not just chasing a man, oh, want me, pick me, no, but you want to do it with dignity, and you feel like, yes, Linda, I think you will be the one to help me. Send me a DM with the word pampered. And let's see if we'd be a good fit to work together privately. Okay. So it's been fun. Let me see if there's we are a young couple learning how to be in a healthy relationship with a goal to be married. So go back to the drawing board. What are your non-negotiables? And then from there you agree whether you are a good fit to be together, yes or no. Marriage takes a lot more than love, a lot more. And I think it would be a good test to see, and you be clear. What is it that you want? What are your non-negotiables? What are your deal breakers? And then he comes with whatever it is to the table. Okay. And then most importantly, can you date more men? Yeah? Date more men. I'm not saying sleeping. I'm saying dating. Okay? Dating. I'm not saying sleeping. Dating. All right. Okay, ladies. Enjoy your Sunday. Send me a DM and let's see if we'll be a good fit to work together. Bye-bye.